Hey everybody, Movie Review Next Door here, and I'm back with another movie review. And today I am reviewing Detention. This is a 2003 action thriller film directed by Sidney J. Furie, stars Dolph Lundgren, Alex Karzis, Kata Dobo, and Danielle Hampton. In this film, a heroic high school teacher leads a band of students trapped in school by violent drug runners. Now, what did I think of Detention? Well, it's decent. Again, I know I've been saying a lot of decent. I have seen this film before. It's another one of those films that I randomly came across on my Prime movie watching days. The three movies that I remember seeing from Dolph Lundgren through Amazon Prime were Silent Trigger, which I absolutely adore, and I think everyone should see it. Um, The Defender, which it's fine. I had a lot of issues with some of the editing and some of the ways certain things were done. And this, Detention. Now, this film is directed by Sidney J. Furie, who also did a couple other movies that I've reviewed. He did. Where are they? The Fraternity, which was pretty bad, I thought. I really couldn't get into it. And where's the other one? Alright, guys, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, Top of the World with Peter Weller, Dennis Hopper, and Tia Carrere, which that was also decent. I don't know if I'd put this above or below. Top of the World definitely has more action, but I just didn't gel with the way that it did like the comedy of everything. And I'm sorry if the color's messing up. It is daytime, so some of the light might be messing with it. But yeah, I do think the film is decent. I do think there are things that could be improved, but I'll get to that. Um, Let me get to the cast. Dolph Lundgren as Sam Decker. He's a former soldier turned teacher. He's a PE and history teacher, and I think he does a pretty good job in the film. I've always liked Dolph Lundgren. I've always thought he was a pretty great action hero, pretty great actor, just in general. And yeah, he kicks some ass in this film. And yeah, I like him here. Alex Karzis as Chester Lamb. He is the main villain. I don't mind him. I think there is a way that you can do this kind of smarmy, like, he's definitely got a personality to him. I'll say that. He's got a weird personality, him and his girlfriend that he's there with. Um, he is very weird, but I do wish he was a bit more menacing. This actor has been in a few films. He was also in Direct Action with Dolph Lundgren. I haven't seen yet. I do own it, but um, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him in something else. Katadobo as Gloria Whalen. She is the girlfriend. Oh, shit. She's the girlfriend of Chester. She's fine. And Danielle Hampton as Alicia Roberts. She is a pregnant teen at this high school. She's kind of one of the characters that gets focused on the most. But all in all, this film, it does feel like a mid 2000s action film. It really does. It was a different time where you could make a film like this and people wouldn't just give you shit because it's a Die Hard in a high school type of thing, and it's like the high schoolers banding together to help their teacher and to help each other get out, which I do wish we could do this type of film again and not have people just make a big fuss about it. I wish we could, because there is quite a bit of fun to be had in this film. My main issue with this film stems from there's only four bad guys in this. There's Chester. There's what's her name? I forgot her because she is kind of forgettable. Gloria. There's what are the other guys' names? There's Victor and Alec. Yeah. There's only four bad guys. And in a Die Hard type film, you need more than just four bad guys because that kind of limits how much action you can have in your film. This film has plenty of action. I'm not saying that it doesn't. Um, but a big issue with this film, action wise, is that a lot of it is characters running into a hallway, running into the bad guys, and the bad guys are just horrible shots, and they don't even close to hit them. This issue is in a lot of action movies. This is not the only one to have this issue, but I see it a lot in films like these Die Hard type films. And it was a bit of an issue in Top of the World for me. And it did take me out of many moments because it's like, okay, he's clearly right there in front of you. You can shoot him, but they just don't. Because if they shoot them and they die, then the movie is over. That happens a lot in these Die Hard types of action movies. It kind of happened a bit in Die Hard, and people say it's like the best action movie ever. But I digress. That is an issue with this film. I do wish there was like more stuff in the hallways for them to like, get behind one thing I will give this movie is that there are multiple times where they use what is at their disposal in order to fight these bad guys. There's a moment where like this one dude that's like a kind of an asshole in the beginning and by the end he kind of redeems himself. A lot of the kids redeem themselves because at the very beginning they're seen as like kind of, you know, like having some issues, especially behavioral issues. And by the end, yeah, they do redeem themselves quite a bit. And the one guy like gets one of those like paper cutters, like the ones that you like lift up the thing. He like takes it off and then uses it as a weapon. The pregnant girl like uses like hairspray to like blind one of the guys and then gets him in the leg. There's a part later where they're using crossbows because they're in the gym, and like Dolph Lundgren and this other guy made like a shield of some kind. That's what I like to see in these types of movies. Genius like incorporation of the setting into the action. And I do wish that happened more in this film because a lot of the middle portion of this film, while not meandering, it's not like there's nothing happening. It's a lot of the same things happening. It's like scene after scene of characters running into a hallway or running from point A to point B, getting shot at, and then there's some obstacle that keeps the bad guys from getting after them. It is a bit repetitive in that way in the middle. And again, the first half, the first third and the second third of or first third and the last third of the film, I think are really well done. The last third of the film is pretty breakneck. There's different things happening. You get a car driving through the fucking school. Like, you can see what this film could have been. And there's like explosions and like um there's gunfights that are actually well done. And I just wish there was more of that in the middle of this film. Now I'm guessing budget was a limitation. This film did cost 5 million Canadian. I don't know what that is in American. I'm not a conversion machine. But I'm guessing that's part of what hampered it. I'm guessing Dolph Lundgren got quite a bit of the money. Um, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not saying it is like it's a bad thing. I understand. But yeah, this is a film that I do think there could be a version of this that's like really, really good. There have been other Die Hard, Die Hard in a high school films. There was Demolition High, or like in the 90s with Corey Haim, which I have not seen yet. It is on YouTube, I think. Um, because there isn't like a real like legit place to see it at the moment. Um, there's Run Hide Fight, which I loved. It was my favorite of 2020, my favorite film of 2020 that I saw in that year. There was The Substitute technically because the final act is like a big like showdown, like kind of a war movie within this high school. Um, and I really liked that film. There's also Masterminds I've never seen. There's Toy Soldiers, which I like. But yeah, like there are films that have been done like this and done better. But for what this film is going for and what it is a direct-to-video action film of the time made by Millennium, and I'll explain why that's pertinent. Um, it still does what it set out to do, which was be an entertaining film. It is entertaining, even though I'm not huge. I wish the villain was a bit more menacing, and I wish there were more bad guys to take out. I wish there was maybe some better acting from a lot of the high school kids, like the pregnant girl and the pregnant girl's the best actress. Um, best actor, I guess maybe the kid that likes basketball a lot and he's kind of a coward, I guess. But like a lot of them aren't the best acted. A lot of them do act like high school kids from the time, though. I will say that. It's just, I think the acting could have been better. But anyway, this film, yes, it has its issues for sure. A lot of films from this time do. But I don't know, there's something fun about it that I find watchable about this. Again, I'm not saying like a high recommend thing. It's a 7 out of 10. But it's so close to being like good, you know? It's not like there's a bunch of like errors made, like filming errors. It's not like I noticed a bunch of fake guns, which there was like one or two moments where I noticed like they were using prop guns that the slide didn't rack back. But that's in a lot of movies, even like huge budget movies. But yeah, I just think this is a decent, watchable piece of cinema. But yeah, the fact that it's made by Millennium or produced by Millennium, this is the same company that would later do a bunch of like bigger budget like action films like Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, Angel Has Fallen, and The Future Night Has Fallen. Hitman's Bodyguard, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, um, The Mechanic Resurrection, Homefront, Drive Angry, The Protege, Jolt. I really like Jolt. Protege, I like. But like, yeah, there's so many things that so many films that I love that this company's done. Stonehurst Asylum, one of my favorite horror films of the past couple decades. Like, this company has done so many amazing films, and I wish more people would dive into this company and watch more of their films because I think that's the way forward. Because a lot of these huge budget action films, it feels like they're just made to pander to China, and I don't think these films are because in China you can't have like graphic violence or something, and there has to be like a pro-China message because that's how China as a country is. I'm not saying the people of China, I'm saying Chinese government is that way. And that's why you get all of these Marvel movies that cost all this money and they go to China and they make their budget back tenfold in China alone. They don't need to be released in the US. But yeah, like I love this company. Yeah, they've had some movies that I haven't loved, but I do like what they're doing. And I hope they keep being around. But yeah, like, do I recommend this film? Sure. If it's on Prime, if you see it, it's currently on Tubi. Um, for you watch it with ads. But like, yeah, if you're feeling like a quick breezy watch, fun time killer, yeah, it'll work. Don't expect anything fantastic, but yeah, I think it works. I guess I'll get to the pros and cons. Pros, again, I really like Dolph Lundgren. I always have, always will. The action where it is pretty well done. There's like something I always look for in action films, especially action films with a bunch of shootouts in them, is that they interact with the environment quite a bit. This film does. Um, a lot of bottles get broken, papers flying everywhere, stuff like that. I always like to see that. Um, the villain again is interesting at least. It's a bit different from just your normal like, oh, Afghanistan, like a random European villain of the time, which this company I will say did a lot in the early 2000s. But again, it went along at a good pace for being 98 minutes. Cons again needed more bad guys, needed more varied action in the middle, and definitely better actors for a lot of the high school kids. But yeah, I still like the film. I think it's worth at least one watch. But yeah, hope y'all enjoy my review of Detention. If you've seen the film, let me know what you think in the comments. And movie reviewer next door.